Our first guest tonight is Timm Holt. He is a retired physician and a writer living in Chicago with his partner Dan and Rummy, their dog. He has written for numerous medical journals and has published a couple of medical books. Now that he is retired, Timm writes poetry, short stories, and plays. His work has appeared in A&U, Diverse Voices Quarterly, Gray Sparrow, River Sedge, and Sloth Jockey. As a playwright, two of his plays, Teddy's Nightmare and Aurora Borealis, have been produced at the Margrini Theater in New Orleans. Timm also has published a novel. It's called Square Affair. Please welcome Timm Holt.
Good evening. When we first met, Gene was dressed in a kimono-style pantsuit, red with white flowers. His black hair had two chopsticks running through a bun on top, and his cigarette in a silver holder flicked around as his wilting wrist waved at others in the bar. He carried a red clutch handbag with a gold clasp and leaned on a wooden cane, a silver snake on its handle. Gene was somewhere between a drag queen who aged fairly well and a geisha girl who didn't. Gene offered me his ring-adorned hand, jewels so big it would make Elizabeth Taylor jealous. I hesitated, and then instead of taking his hand, kissed him on the cheek. The joy perfume so heavy I could taste it. We were in the New Orleans French Quarter, upstairs at Good Friend's bar. Gene ordered a mattress and I a vodka martini. We found a table next to the open balcony so we could watch the parade of men on the street as we listened to a rather boisterous Sunday afternoon sing-along. During a break, Gene pointed his cigarette holder at me and said he'd met his lover Joe in this bar, a hustler bar at the time, which is why Joe was there. Fresh off the bus from Pensacola, Florida, Joe was looking for sex. Or to be more precise, looking for money for sex. Gene said they had a few encounters and Joe continued to hustle until he was thrown in jail. In those days, Gene explained, being openly gay was not exactly accepted. Even here in New Orleans, I asked? Yeah, even here. I knew with Joe I was living dangerously, but remember, this is Louisiana and I was, well, connected, shall we say. Gene's beauty shop was on Bourbon Street next to the old Absinthe Bar. He said his shop had been full of politically influential women who loved to tell about under-the-table deals and sex affairs of their husbands. So you see, Gene said, I knew about all the skeletons and where they were hidden. I was off limits. No one wanted to piss me off. Jerry, a younger Black man and friend of Gene, appeared at the top of the stairs. He was wearing a red sequenced floor-length gown. In front, its plunging neckline drew attention to his contrived cleavage. And in back, the gown dipped to his waistline. He wore heavy makeup and eyelashes so long, I feared they would poke me in the eye if I leaned in for a kiss. Jerry waved his red boa in greeting as he sashayed through the crowd and came to our table. He gave Gene a kiss on the cheek. Jerry leaned back, waved his boa, and said, I thought you died, Gene. What a shame you're still with us. I had plans for that gorgeous white evening gown of yours. With eyebrows raised, Gene waved his index finger up and down Jerry's torso. With your figure, dear, you need black. Oh, I have a black one, and I'm saving it for your wake. The girls and I really thought you died, but nothing in the obituaries. No need to read the obituaries, Jean said. You'll hear shouts of jubilation in the streets. Jerry scrutinized Jean, squatted, then took his hand. If you ever have trouble getting here, I'd be glad to pick you up. Jean pointed his cigarette finger at Jerry. Bitch, you want to stop by my place so you'll know what clothes to pick when I die. Jean and I spent most Sunday afternoons at Good Friends, talking and watching from the balcony younger men walking the street below. One particular Sunday, I couldn't get my mind off of aging. Jean told me, lighten up, look at me. I'm ancient and I'm still having fun. He put a cigarette in the silver holder, lit it, and took a drag. Through the exhaled smoke, he pointed his cigarette at me. Yes, I was afraid of growing old once, but fearing of growing old is not unique to us gays. I still wasn't buying Jean's Pollyanna outlook on aging. I don't think the younger gays care what we went through to get to where we are today. I pointed from the balcony down to St. Anne Street, where a number of young men were walking hand in hand. How can they not see that you, me, we sacrificed families, careers, went to jail so they could hold hands in public? Jean glanced at the street. Well, first of all, I would never wear what they're wearing. Cut off jean shorts and tank tops with no muscles to show. And remember, I had connection, so I never went to jail. He pauses a moment, looks at his cigarette, and then at me. Tim, are you angry with them or at yourself? I wondered where in the hell he's going with this. I'm happy with who I am, I said. Like hell you are, Jean grunted. You resent living with HIV, and you resent getting old. You're the one who wants to avoid being me, not them. I didn't want to hear this. Bitterness was my crutch since my HIV diagnosis. Then why am I here if I'm afraid of being you? I don't know. Hoping to find a way to avoid becoming like me? You'll be old. HIV didn't get you, but something will. Sooner or later, today will be the tomorrow you feared yesterday. I was getting angry at Jean for his cavalier attitude. My gay friends were dead. I never knew being gay and young. I didn't come out until I was 30. Because of you, me, I don't know, Jean. Jean wiped the condensation on his drink glass, then looked at me. Are you looking for a memorial? A what? A memorial. We'll build it right here on St. Anne. Or how about a plaque in the men's room to venerate your contribution to the gay cause? You're a good person, Tim. Be you. Be the gay man you feared becoming. You're in the right time, the right city, New Orleans. As the saying goes, laissez le bon temps rouler. Let the good times roll. Over the year, Jean's health began to fail. He was diagnosed with leukemia and started chemotherapy. The hospital seemed to make him reflect more on my journey and my gayness, as well as his. And he could be cantankerous, especially because he could not smoke in his room. Get me the hell out of this hellhole so I can smoke. How can they deny a dying man a little pleasure? This cigarette is the only thing I've sucked on in ages. I helped him out of bed and arranged his bedgown to cover his bare behind. Oh, let it be. I imagine they've seen bare asses, but maybe not one so applauded or wrinkled as yours. Because you helped me to the patio for a smoke, I'll ignore the comment about my wrinkles. But you're right. I once had a fine ass. It was alluring in a slinky gown. The patio was an open area between two hospital wings. It had all the appeal of living inside an ashtray. Cigarette butts littered the ground. It appeared no one used the big container meant for them. And even though outside, it reeked of smoke. We took a seat beside each other on a bench. After sitting, Gene paused, took a drag on his cigarette, and then out of the blue asked, "Tim, what do you think I should do when my hair falls out?" "Sweep it up?" No imagination. Drag queens live a fantasy land. In our world with makeup, costumes, and a wig, you can be whatever you want to be. "Well, then does it matter what I think?" I asked. "Of course it does. I'm just trying to liberate that gay gene you have hidden in the closet." "Okay, how about Dolly Parton? You could be a country girl." "No, I think I'll stick to my signature geisha girl. But you would look great as a cowgirl. Let's visit the thrift shops and look at some dresses when I get out." Oh no, I thought. Drag queen was not in my future. I said, "What? And try on dresses and wear one in public?" Gene laughed. "This is not sex. The stores have seen it all. If it weren't for us queens, all those old Mardi Gras gowns would be eaten up by moss." I was softening. After all, this is New Orleans. The need to costume and disguise is in the water. Gene took a drag on his cigarette and then asked, without thinking, just off the top of your head, who is the first person that comes to mind when you think of a person who influenced you? "Mrs. Blossom Wisby, my fourth grade teacher," I said. "One evening, the northern lights could be seen from my home. She called every student and told them to go outdoors. To this day, it was one of the most beautiful sights I've seen." You know, Gene, and all the things I had done in my life, I never thought I would have come up with that with her. "And what about you, Gene?" I asked. Bear with me a moment. To best answer this question, I need to talk about my faith. I grew up Roman Catholic, and we profess the risen Christ and a resurrection after death. I go to church occasionally, but as I'm close to death, I think about my faith more and don't know if it's true. But I know I'll live on in others I've touched, like Mrs. Wisby and you. After I'm gone, some will wear my outfits. They'll look at a drag queen and ask, "Wasn't that Gene's dress? Isn't that the number Gene performed?" And I know I'll live on in the minds of others, like Jerry. When he was young, I took him under my wing and taught him all the tricks of being a good drag queen. And he's already passing that information along to others. As far as I'm concerned, that's enough resurrection for me, though I do hope to see a kingdom of God. Gene looked at me, pointing his cigarette holder. I doubt Mrs. Wisby ever knew what that small act meant to you. And you, Tim, will anyone say such a thing of you? Gene died before we could shop for a drag costume, but I visited the used clothing stores, bought some dresses, and performed a number of times in drag, often a cowgirl. When I owned Cowpoke's Bar in Louisiana, I dressed as Hyacinth Bouquet of Keeping Up Appearances and would invite patrons over for a Sunday tea, all the while thinking of my Sunday afternoons with Gene. And I'm still pondering his question, who have I influenced? Thank you.